What's up, coaches? I'm Brad Ellingsworth. This is my YouTube channel, Coach E. This channel is devoted to all things football, especially being simple and playing fast. Guys, if at any time throughout this presentation you like the content, please hit the like button, drop a comment, and press that subscribe button. Today, you guys are in for a treat. Okay, we got three-time back-to-back state champs, O-line coach, Coach Sfamurri. I think I still butchered that. Sfamurri, right? Did I get that right?
Nice job, man.
Okay,
Nice
there
job.
we go. We were practicing that before we got on here, but Coach is excellent, man. He's going to do an excellent presentation for you guys. He's very detailed. We're going to talk about inside zone today, so you're going to make sure you stick around. So, Coach, give us a little background on your coaching, and then when you're ready to roll, it's all yours.
Cool, man. Hey, what's up, everybody? Coach Chris Sfamurri. I coach offensive line at Smyrna High, as Brad said. A little bit about myself. I love football. I love O-line play. Take serious pride in it. I played at Upper Darby High School. We ran the wing T. I was a tackle, so not much pulling for me. But played D-line as well, and then was lucky enough to play college football at Wesley under Coach Drass. Played guard there, loved it, won a lot of games, had a blast. And then I started coaching right after I finished playing. So I was a student assistant at Wesley from 2008 and 2009. So dug my feet in the ground there. I did my best. Then my O-line coach in the summer of 2010 had resigned. So Coach Knapp at Wesley, he's like, "Hey, Saf, you gonna apply? You gonna try to go for this?" I said, "Yeah, sure." I was at home in PA, living at my mom's, like working for this, it was like a dorm furniture delivery service. It was brutal. I was looking for a teaching job and stuff. So I rolled back down and worked at camp with Coach Knapp, and then interviewed with Coach enough to somehow get that job. But everything I know about O-line play, the zone concept especially, is really from Coach Knapp, and he was a huge mentor. So I started coaching there full time. I was there as a full time coach for 3 years, and then coached tight ends, and then was lucky enough to get a job in the Smyrna School District. I'm a gym teacher, and through Wesley connected with Mike Judy, and lucky enough to be on his staff with some great dudes and great football minds.
Yeah, you guys have definitely done a great job. Great job over there, man. I mean, I can remember because I'm been in Delaware my whole life, and I can remember when Smyrna was a doormat, and that is certainly not what they are today. They are the ones stepping on other doormats today. But I'm excited for the presentation, Coach. I know you're going to do a great job.
Yeah, man. So we everything we do at Smyrna High is through the host disabled participant screen share. I'm trying to.
Oh, you know what, Coach? Coach? I got to give it to you. Hold on a second. I should have checked that before we got on here. You should be able to do it now.
Okay.
My fault.
Yeah, there we go. Cool. No, you're good. So everything we do at Smyrna High is, of course, run through our OC, Mike Marks, who I've learned a ton from. He's an incredible football mind, but I'll just start with the intro screen. Of course, you'll see my Twitter on there if anybody wants to hit me up on Twitter, at Sfamurri61. But the bottom left, you see Junkyard Dogs. So it starts with this. The significance of Junkyard Dogs is that is the kind of culture that you need to, and I try to create with my offensive linemen. Like, you can picture what a junkyard dog is: dirty, nasty, mean. That is what we should be playing like on the offensive line. So that's part of our culture on the O-line. It's got to be pushed more. We've got to talk more about that, but that is who we are, who we try to play like, and what we try to play like. So for coaches, I don't know if this is going to, reach some youth coaches, other high school coaches, whatever it is. Make sure you have a plan or a progression, of course. you can't just roll up to practice, especially, how I see offensive line play. You can't just roll into practice and just say, all right, well, we're here. Here we go. Let's just start practicing. You got to have a plan. There's got to be a progression to, hopefully maximize the ability of your players, because we are teachers. So we have to be able to do those things. So just going to share just a practice plan. This is an old one too, man. An old practice plan from, hopefully you can see that, Coach.
Yep, that looks good, Coach.
From 2015, me and then our assistant O-line coach, Brian Donner, and all of our drills, times, even our warm-up is on there. I had to make sure I wrote that one down.
Are you trying to Coach, are you trying to share the plan?
No, I just want people to see just what it looks like.
Okay.
So we're lucky enough to coach our varsity guys and our sub-varsity. So we have a plan for those guys too. But have it written down, put some thought into it. Make sure that you're progressing the correct way, because we are teachers. We're teachers, man. We gotta teach these guys best our ability. And then failing to prepare is preparing to fail. So make sure you have a plan. So next I'll talk about why we use the fundamentals that we do. Now, I don't know if you can see, man, but we got some serious power angles going on in some of these pictures. All right. So the main giant picture is Makai Jackson, wide receiver. He'll be playing at University of Delaware, breaking a tackle, breaking a long run to score a touchdown. On the right side of that picture, you're going to see a dude with some serious power angles. And then it's funny. It took me 2 minutes to find that picture of course, the skill guy making a play, right?
Yeah.
It took me about 35 minutes to find a picture of my offensive lineman. I was like, man, these linemen get no love.
Right.
They still get no love. And then little man, my son Porter at the bottom right here, power angles. So it starts with the mentality and our stance. We got to take pride in our stance. And I'm teaching little man a stance, whatever. But you see his feet flat on the ground. You see his flat back. You see his eyes up. You see his little hamstrings loaded up, power angles ready to go. Z in the knee. You see it from me as well, top right.
Oh, that's a great power angle.
Well, here are our guys. These are our guys. This is a picture from our 15 championship game against Sally's. We got a bunch of great players there who bought into everything we were teaching, and I was teaching, especially when it came to our stances and the importance of taking pride in it, but also understanding that we have to move in every direction out of our stance. So our center, Evan Gallagher, I love how his eyes are up. He's got his up hand ready for contact on a gigantic Jamal Whittlesey from Sally's. And then our left guard right here, Robbie Robinson, I'm telling you, that dude was a monster when it came to the details. And our left tackle, Phil Nix, again, eyes up, power angles, flat back, hands ready to go. I wish his elbows were a little bit tighter, but he's ready to roll. Trying to block Kyle Cathers. I don't know if we blocked him that game. But my dudes on the right side, Jaron and Jaron Carter, dudes became serious students of the game, took pride in offensive line play. I love their stances, love where their eyes are, love how they're ready to roll. Hands are ready to roll as well. But it all starts in our stance. We've got to use a perfect stance in offensive line play. Take pride in it, because it's only going to help you get better. Some other fundamentals that we use are steps in footwork. So we use in drive phase, I call it drive phase. So our blocks will be drive phase and then finish phase. In drive phase, we use duck demeanor, which, everything we do is really stolen, but stolen from Jim McNally, a legendary offensive line coach. My duck demeanor is different than his. We talk about staying as low as we can, nipple to knee, hiding our numbers, where he's going to show that chest a little. But all the other details of pounding feet in the ground inside third and so on, all stolen from him.
He did a great clinic, and not to cut you off. I mean, I've gotten some Jim McNally stuff too, Coach. He's really good. So if anybody gets a chance to get some Jim McNally stuff, he was the first. I want to say the first, but he was definitely opened my eyes when I went to a clinic, and he was talking about whole foot power, stomping those feet in the ground. So I mean, not to cut you off, Coach. doing a great job. But yeah,
No, that stuff's important, man. That stuff is important when it comes to zone blocking. The detail of a play side step in the zone concept is extremely important. And then, of course, leverage. We talk about leverage being inside the defender's chest and underneath defenders. But those things are important when it comes to zone blocking. And, as you said, pounding feet in the ground. And he talks about balance as well and driving every cleat into the ground. We say, and a cue that I say all the time is, we got to be ready to change direction and make contact at any point in the play, especially in zone block. So on to inside zone, we're a spread team, so we run our inside zone or read zone out of spread. This is going to be inside zone against the odd front. So we have different rules for inside zone versus the odd front and the even front. So here it is versus the odd front. We've got our left tackle and left guard double teaming the end. I love double teams, by the way, man. I love them. Double teaming the defensive end out to the alley. We've got our center and right guard double teaming that nose to the play side inside backer. And then our right tackle, the backside tackle, sifting up as thick as he can to the backside inside backer. But that's the basic scheme right there. That's what it looks like. We'll get into more detail about what those blocks look like, what we teach, aiming point, and so on. But that's the scheme versus the odd front. And then our scheme versus the even front, where we have our right tackle, our play side tackle, chevied up. We call it a Chevy block, a drive block. You're one-on-one. Chevy block in the play side D end. Right guard, center double in the nose to the play side inside backer. And then our backside double between the left guard and left tackle to the backside inside backer. But you notice on both of those, the center is working to the play side inside backer. So if that center understands the rule and identifies the front, knows who he's going to work with, he can communicate that to his buddy, and they know that they're always working to the play side inside backer. And we actually have names for our double teams. So we I try to give them as many options as possible. Here's the rule. This is the scheme. But also here's the name of the double team. So right here, the center and guard, we call that a cage. Center and guard. Cage, double team. So the center and guard, hopefully they're easily just like, hey, cage, cage, cage. They know they're going to the play side inside backer. And then the double team on the play side there is a tag, tackle and guard. So anyway, these guys can learn who they're working with, what the double team is, who they're going to go to. Any tool that I can give them is better.
Now,
it's as simple as possible, and then eventually we'll talk about name and double team.
When you and I know this is probably a scheme thing, but when you let's say as you don't want to run a read option, you want to run an RPO. Now, will you have some sort of lock call where you're not, that backside tackle is not allowing that end man on a line of scrimmage free, and where as now you're reading the backside backer, something like that?
Yes, we do. We have that built into our scheme. It's a part of our NASCAR series that is right. Extremely up tempo.
Yeah.
That is a part of it. And that will change in the odd front. It won't change anything else besides the backside tackle here, right?
Exactly. Right.
But in the even front, now the backside guard and tackle need to know that there is a kick call on.
Yes.
Double team is off, and we're both chevied up on our guys.
Now, do you find that most people with their front, because I know you guys are a lot of 10 personnel, and we will be this year at Tech too. That's already going from wing T to spread is a bear in itself. But anyways, do you guys find that most people, if you're getting an even front, do you find most people shade their strength away from the back or to the back?
Usually it seems like it's mostly to the field.
Okay,
so if it's an even front, it'll be to the field.
Okay.
And of course we go unbalanced. We'll go 2x2. We'll go 3x1. So everything on the back end will move slightly based on the number of receivers or where the strength is in 3x1. But as far as the front goes, it's usually to the field, which if you're going to go up tempo, that seems pretty simple.
Right.
And it's funny to see, like, when we're in the middle of the field, how some teams have some difficulty lining up sometimes because we're in the middle of the field,
Right.
you know. But yeah, we see that, and we don't specifically run, hey, we're going to run read zone at the 3 technique or at the 2I. We don't really do that. We call it, we run it. And the beauty of spread, man, and you're seeing it as you install it, and you've been running it. Defense is always wrong. You know, if it's executed properly, man, the defense is always wrong.
Absolutely.
So we named those doubles as well. Of course, we have our Chevy. We got our gut on the backside between left guard and left tackle, guard and tackle gut, and then a gack between the right guard and center. Again, center is always working to the play side, inside back. So that's how we block against the odd and the even front. All right. And we're going to use our fundamentals, hopefully, to execute those blocks. But this is my teaching progression. So as soon as we start practice, this is exactly what I do from the very first minute I see my guys. And this is my teaching progression. And I feel like this progression is important because not only do I want them to be able to block it correctly, let's score touchdowns, but I want them to understand the concept so that, of course, like they know it like the back of their hand, but hey, man, when they go and play at the next level, I want them to be able to understand the concept fully. And then, hopefully that makes them, more valuable or closer to the field for playing time, right? So the very first thing I do is I'll line my dudes up. I got my whatever starting 5, first group is going to be up. I'm going to be the quarterback for the start of this, but I'm going to choose, I'll choose, my favorite guy, my favorite backup. Hey man, come on over. You're going to play running back. So I line them up. I get them set, get my running back set up next to me, and I show my guys what is going on in the backfield. So I'm going to show them what the mesh point looks like, right? I'm going to show them the aiming point of the running back, which is the inside foot of the play side guard. I'm going to show them that angle so they understand the angle of departure that they need to take in order for the lineman and the back to work together, because that back is going to help us execute our double teams, bring defenders, second level defenders to us so we can block those guys. But why is the backfield action important? It's important because, again, we got to show them what is going on so they know, oh, man, quarterback is running with it. But why is the quarterback running with it? Oh, he threw it out there. Why did he throw it? I don't want them to be surprised when those things happen. So that's as basic as it gets for us, right? So as we go through, who's blocking who, I'm showing them who the read man is. Because this might be brand new, man. They might have been, running wing T coming up, and they don't know anything about zone concept or guys being read, right? So who is the read man? 99% of the time, it's going to be that backside defensive end. I'll show them what it means or what the defender does that dictates a pull or a give. So if that DN squeezes flat, well, guys, what's he taking away? So again, just trying to teach and let them come up with the answers so they can understand that concept. DN squeezes, quarterback's going to pull, he can run or to throw it. Man, that DN ran straight up field. What's he taking away? He's taking away quarterback run, the pull. Attaboy. That's when that thing gets handed off to the running backs. So then we'll go through our odd, usually odd first, because we see a lot more odd front than even. So we'll throw an odd front in front of that first group. After my favorite player played running back, I'll send him over to play defense, and we'll get the other guys playing D. We'll set up the defense. We'll name the defenders so they know who they're blocking when we say an alley player, play side, inside backer, nose guard, a defensive end. Some of them have never been taught that. They don't know they know who defensive ends are, luckily, because the NFL loves them, right? So they know who a defensive end is. They don't know who a nose guard is. They wouldn't be able to identify which guy is a play side, inside backer. They don't know who an alley player is. That's our vocabulary being instilled in these guys, right? So versus the odd front, we'll then identify who is a lead man or a trail man in the zone combo. So as we go back to, let's just say an even front, let's check out the center and the right guard. Right now, the right guard is the lead man in the combo. because he is more play side, and the center is the trail man in the combo because he is more backside.
I
Right?
like
So
that
we
a lot.
identify.
I like that a lot.
So we identify who's the lead man, who's the trail man, right? Which usually is the covered guy and uncovered guy, right? So we identify who's the lead man, who's the trail man. You guys are always working together. Center and right guard in the even front, in read zone to the right or inside zone to the right. So again, the lead man in the cage, he will drive the play side half of the defender, and then the trail man will drive the backside half of the defender, right? So lead man, I got the play side half. Trail man, I got the backside half. And we're driving our halves as best we can with the ultimate goal of putting that down lineman into the lap of the linebacker. That is the ultimate goal, right? So we talk about in those zone combos, lead man, I'm driving my half, right? Well, you've just got your half. I don't say like play side number. I don't say play side armpit, play side shoulder. You have that half. And we want 4 hands on the down lineman, 4 eyes on the second level player. That's our goal for every zone combo, especially on inside zone. Drive your half and move his behind into the linebacker. And that's basically the whole progression. And then we kind of will break it up from there, right? And I'm lucky. I got, Donner, who's an absolute dude, a phenomenal coach and teacher. We work together on this, so we can hey, I'll take the play side tackle. You want to take the center. I'll take the tackles. You take the centers and guards. So we'll pot up those doubles, or we'll pot up those Chevy blocks to then start really teaching the details of the play. And it starts, again, with your everyday drills. And we're lucky we're 2 platoon. I think everybody on the planet knows by now we're 2 platoon. So we're lucky enough to be in that position. That is a decision that was made, and we took it and ran with it, and we believe in it. So my guys, my O-linemen are O-linemen, and I love how they are developed and how we develop them from the second we get them to after they've played their last game as a senior. But our everyday drills, these are things, man, I learned the hard way. And I thought, man, in 2018, man, I had a senior laden line. I'm like, we're good. These guys, they don't need stance and start. Well, I was wrong. So Coach Knapp always said, don't assume. And I assumed, and I was wrong, and that hurt us. But these are our everyday drills, and then every other drill will be kind of dictated on what the focus is for the day. So our stance and start, again, taking pride in our stance. It's extremely important for us to do stance and start every single day. The detail of taking a right step first and teaching them how to take that right step first, or how to take the left step first, driving every cleat in the ground, generating that torque through the ground so you can then run off the ball. Talked a little about duck demeanor, right? We're talking about a wider base, every single cleat in the ground. We want to drive through the heel and that instep, knees knocked inside the ankles. We're hiding our numbers. We're loading our guns on our first step, shooting our hands on the second step. Low man's going to win. We're going to pound those feet in the ground to generate that torque through the ground. Those 2 things can't really happen unless we're in a great stance, prepared to run off the ball and dominate the defender. Shoot, we're in the shoots every day. Funny story about Salim Wormley, one of the best offensive linemen we've ever had. This guy earned his first scholarship in the shoots. So that's like a simple tool for me, man. I'm like, oh, you want to go half effort and shoots, huh? Okay. Well, let me tell you a story about Salim Wormley. Earned his first scholarship because he was going 100% in shoots. So we'll shoot. Awesome. We'll duck demeanor in the shoot. We'll go angle drive. We'll go on our angle. And then we'll add a defender. We'll compete a little bit, a little rage in the cage. Or sled drive too. Those are our everyday drills. We're hitting those, man. We got it down to like 15 minutes at the most doing those 4 drills. So if you're a person that has 20, 25 minutes, Indy, for a practice, these can be done, and then you can still transition and focus on whatever the focus is of the day, right? So those are our everyday drills, okay? For inside zone, these are all the drills, and there are a few more, but these are all the drills that we use and progress to make them hopefully just mastering each and every zone combo, okay? So our inside zone drills we'll just start with the play side tackle Chevy block, all right? So the play side tackle, his goal is to never let the defensive end beat him inside in the even front. You cannot allow him to beat you inside because that's where the running back is. That's where the aiming point is. He beats you inside, he's going to make the play, and we're done, right? So in the Chevy block, in every Chevy block in our offense, the aiming point is the inside V of the neck. So whenever we go with a Chevy block drill with centers, guards, tackles, it doesn't matter. They're attacking the inside V of the defender. Now, in the zone concept and inside zone, that play side tackle, again, you cannot allow him to beat you inside. So we attack the inside V of the neck, and we use a torque technique, again, stolen but adjusted to help us. Hat placement, inside V of the neck, a strong inside hand on the inside shoulder, pressing that defender outside, running our feet the entire time, using that torque technique. That's going to help. Help the play develop, especially from that play side tackle, right? So we'll use those Chevy block drills all the time. Practice that torque technique. Jaron Carter, one of my all-time favorite offensive linemen, an absolute killer on the field. Man, that dude, he became a student of the torque technique, and that dude wanted to be great at it to a point where he was able to gain leverage, lift guys up, drive their feet, and of course, he wanted to finish. So that dude, we always talk about play side tackles. You want to drive him, take him to his position coach. Take him to the sideline. Or if you're driving it to our sideline, bring him on over. I'd love to meet him. Bring him on over to the sideline. So as we hit that one, pretty simple, just one-on-one. Yeah, take him to his position coach, man. And bring him on over.
That's so polite of you, Coach. That's so polite.
I'd love to meet him.
Yeah.
But that's a simple setup, just offensive lineman on one side of the line, defensive end on the other. Of course, as a D end, we're going to go head up to outside shoulder and in alignment and work our Chevys from there. And then coaching the heck out of it, man. So we start the double teams and even our Chevy blocks. Even when we start to teach drive blocks, we always start in fit position. So fit position for us is hands inside, elbows tight, of course, but your head and your hands are going to be inside the defender's chest. So even when we talk Chevy blocks, just one-on-one Chevy blocks, not so much for scheme for inside zone, but we're always starting in fit position, and we're going to drive from there. Then eventually we work our way back to out of a stance and coming off the ball and driving, whatever the aiming point is. So fit and drive double teams, I'm going find a way to win right here. I tried the whiteboard share screen. I couldn't do it, man, with the little pad here. So we got our whiteboard.
There you
go. We're going to be fit and drive double teams, right? So we have our defender. We don't even have a linebacker yet, man. Not even adding a linebacker.
Now, Coach, do you want to stop the share real quick, and we may be able to get a bigger view of that? It's up to you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
If you stop the share, and then you can go right back to it after you're done your.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Because then we can get the whole screen. Is there an option to stop share up top?
Yeah. Let me try to find that. There it is. Stop share.
There you go.
Boom.
Oh, that's beautiful, right? That's way better. Yeah.
There we go. So we're going to be fit into our double teams, and I am usually the linebacker, and the focus here is, of course, focusing on driving their halves to the second level player, but I'm also coaching their eyes, right? I want 4 hands. We're focusing on that, driving our halves, but where are your eyes, right? So we've got an O lineman, they've got their hands on, And on the cadence, they're going to drive that defender into my lap, the linebacker's lap. So we start with that, right? And it can be a center and it can be a tackle. It can be 2 tackles. It doesn't matter, because at some point you're going to be a lead man in a combo, and at some point you're going to be a trail man. You're going to be fit in the left half or fit in the right half. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter who it is. You can just have 2 dudes up. And sometimes I'll have another one set up here. So all I have to do is turn around and the next group is ready. So trying to be efficient there as well, right? So driving their halves, are their eyes in the right spot? So I'll like throw numbers up. You know, what number? 4, 2, 1, whatever. They've got to yell it out as they drive with their fundamentals, so I can coach their eyes, right? Got to be able to coach their eyes. Then we'll start there in the zone concept. We'll start right there. So another important part in the zone concept is, and double teams, is these guys being as tight as they possibly can to not allow any color between them. So same setup, there's your defender. But now these guys, again, are going to be fit, hands, head. But now I'm going to put a hand shield right between their hips. This was stolen, of course, just like everything else, but we just changed the name up, right? So we had an O lineman, Brent Young. He needed to get better at getting nice and tight, hip to hip, shoulder to shoulder with his buddy. So we called it the Brent Young drill, right? But the focus is them staying as tight as possible, driving their knee directly through the nuts of the defender, all while, of course, their eyes being on the second level player, right? I think Coach Blazek, that was at Rutgers at the time, now he's at like North Dakota State, he calls it blade drill, right? So whatever you call it, this drill is going to be huge in helping you get guys nice and tight, being comfortable, being nice and tight, and driving that defender. Hopefully get into the lap of the linebacker. So again, my eyes are on their eyes. I'm coaching up their eyes. Then eventually we'll talk about these guys coming off to linebackers, but we're not quite ready yet, right? So Brent Young drill, no color showing, hip to hip, shoulder to shoulder, knee through the nuts, almost galloping as we drive through that defender, but again, to move that body. So then we'll go to a different drill where we focus on eyes, driving our half, eyes, and exiting violently to the next level, right? So we're going to go with a step over. We use step overs, got to have boards if you're going to be working this stuff. We'll have an offensive lineman in this position. He's going to duck demeanor against the defender. So he'll be fit on half of the defender. He's going to drive his defender, drive through his half. So the defender's got to like lean into him, help his buddy out. He's going to have some tension. So he's going to be fit on his half. He's going to drive his half. His feet are going to take him where he wants to go. Now we add a defender. He's going to, when the O lineman gets to the end of the board, this defender is going to just walk to the offensive lineman. This does so many things, man. This focuses on keeping our shoulders square, so we're moving wall of humanity as we duck and drive our half. We're going to violently exit when we see that defender choose us. We don't choose him until he chooses us. Don't choose him until he chooses you. Our eyes have got to be in the right spot to see that. Then violently exiting from the double team to help your buddy overtake. Then also making some contact on the second level player, right? So all of this works so many things, from fit, running your feet, shoulders square, driving your half, eyes in the right spot. Linebacker chooses me, now I choose him. We don't do a lot of drilling on how to block second level players. We basically just say, block them how you find them, right? Hopefully the mentality is already there. I want to knock this dude over. I want to knock him over. So when we block him, we're ready to be violent on contact. Yes, we'll have him with a hand shield and we'll make our contact. We will coach it up if it needs to be coached up. But if not, we're going to hit this, and we're going to hit this drill for a while. So we'll have multiple drills set up. So we'll have 2 going to the right, 2 going to 2 on the left side here going left. And then we'll just have them just rotate from going to the right, then going to the left, feeling it to the left. But this drill is key in order, again, to violently exit and come off to the backer at the correct time. So we got to hit that. That's the next part in the progression. So after we're tight on our double, then we're going to get into one-on-one, right, on our half drive and violently exit. Then we're going to really focus on, same drill, really focus on hammering that linebacker, blocking him how we find him. Just block him how you find him. And then we'll move this defender, this linebacker. We'll have him go that way. Choose him, but go that way. So we stay on that hip and drive him that way. Or we'll have him just sit and be tough, and we've got to be as physical as possible and drive that body. Or we'll have him choose him, but stay backside, and then we've got to drive him in that direction, right? So now focusing on just a little bit more of what are we going to do and how are we going to block that second level player? Not a ton, because we got to be great on the first level. Second level will kind of take care of itself, right? Now we're ready. Now we're ready to go full double team out of a stance, right? Get into that full double team out of the stance. Same real setup, but no boards, no nothing, just 2 defenders. Defender and wherever we want to put that linebacker, right? We'll go play zone right, all right? Lead man, trail man, drive in the half to their linebacker. Again, having that dude choose one or the other. Hopefully the correct guy comes off and blocks his linebacker, right? So now we're ready to come out of our stance. And we'll hit that. We'll hit the heck out of it, man. We'll get him try to get him like 1 million reps. Try to get 1 million reps to feel it and hopefully improve on.
Coach, do you find that kids, when they're working their doubles, at first are overly concerned about coming off and getting to that second level?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They want to go now. And you'll see it on film. I got a bunch of clips of that whenever we get to it. But you'll see guys leave early. I'm just going to tap and go, right? We can't tap and go. We always talk about emphasizing the down lineman. Emphasize the down lineman, and remember what the ultimate goal of this combo is. You want to drive him into the lap of the second level player, right? So hopefully just ingraining it. Even, there are going to be a couple of plays from even seniors that, man, they just tap and go,
Yeah.
And we don't want that.
I think that's been like I'm going to really, really focus on, going to take a new approach this year. It's kind of been my whole zone versus gap double, which to me, it's tough. I love the simplicity of like zone, like the rules don't change much. They're very like malleable per whatever front you're facing. But the zone doubles, in my opinion, have to carry vertically. They have to carry vertically so that you can, like you said, dump them into the lap of the backers, whatever. Whereas when you're running a gap scheme, you're gapping away, and you can kind of carry those double teams if your rule calls for it, away from the play as opposed to vertically. So, in the gap scheme, I feel like it's not as hurt if you come off early, where, man, that double. So the approach I'm going to try to take this year is just first, let's just concentrate on the double and carrying that double vertically before we stress out about, backers scraping, behind or over the top or whatever.
I love that you brought up the gap scheme doubles too, because these zone doubles, they aren't very different. Like, of course, we have an angle of departure, right? And the running back could go here, it could go here, it could go here, right? Where in the gap scheme, you're going here, man. We're trying to vacate this area. We're trying to create the hole right here, right? But these doubles, we talk about being patient, right? And the defender's movement may force us to leave. And maybe it's a little early, right? But if the running back is patient, that's going to help. And if we're patient, that's going to help us climb at the correct speed to get on that body when our back is hitting the hole. Does that make sense to you? So if we just tap and go, of course, we're not emphasizing the down lineman, but if we're set up in this situation, right, and you've got a defender, and let's say we're going zone to the left, we're working to that backer. If I'm trying to get to that half and he's trying to get to that half, but this defender goes away, he's going to see the near knee go away. So what's he going to do now? He's going to climb, right? But we don't need to spike to the second level. We talk about being patient on your climb, right? Patient on your climb. He will, if these guys are all working together, here's your running back. If they're working together, he is going to bring this defender to you, and then we can make our contact, right? And then with the gap scheme, I mean, same thing. Like, let's say you're running, say, counter to the right, and you guys are trying to blow up the defensive tackle. If this dude is pushed or post-snap moves in that direction, I'm going to climb, just the angle's a little steeper, right? Just a little steeper. Working to the backside, inside backer. Where the zone concept, we're going north-south, man. We're a moving wall of humanity. So there are times where guys are going to look like, I kind of just tap and go. But you're not really tapping and going. That defender's movement is forcing you now to climb, but then just being ultra focused and coaching them up on never spike to the second level. Be patient. He will come to you. He's still going to choose you. Now you choose him and hammer. You know what I'm saying? So now we're out of our stance, hit that. Then eventually, not first day, I'm talking weeks down the line, you can add some special situations, right? So your first step as a lead man or trail man might be different, especially lead man, might be different based on the alignment of the defenders. So if we have a center and a right guard, and let's say we've got a shade, it is an even front. But we're running zone to the right. These two are doubling the nose to the backer, right? So just a special situation. His first step is always going to go to the aiming point. Remember, his aiming point is that play side half, right? But, man, he's way past his play side half. So he's going to change his first step. So instead of taking an angle drive or a drive, we'll just take a replacement step. He'll pick that, always play side foot first. He'll pick that thing up, put it down. Second step goes right through the nuts. Now we're together. There's your Brent Young drill again. There's your blade drill. Tight, hip to hip, shoulder to shoulder, 4 hands and 4 eyes to execute that zone combo. And we'll see that one on film too against good counsel. They had a former NFL player's son, former defensive tackle in the NFL. His son was damn nose guard. We had to try to block himself. And you're going to see the right guard. He doesn't do a great job of helping his buddy. But here's a special situation, right? Or same thing with let's say the defensive tackle is in a wider 3. Or if it's an odd front, let's say it's an odd front, and we have the right guard and right tackle working their combo, but the D end is really wide. Or the D end is in a 4-eye. Those are special situations. And that end is the tackle is going to treat it the same way. He's way past his aiming point. He'll drive step or replace, go right through his half while his eyes are on his alley player. Right? So add those special situations, add some blitzes, right? And that stuff is important, man. You have to add the blitzes in.
Sure. And, not to get us off track, but I really find the one front that I find can be, just in my opinion, can be tricky running that zone is a 3-4 with 2 4 eyes. They got 2 4 eyes, and you got a nose. that can be kind of tricky. And to talk, and one reason and again, not to get way off track here, but this all kind of fits together, big picture, like you were talking earlier. One reason I like going tempo, I mean, everybody thinks, going tempo, because it looks good, Gus Malzahn theory, whatever. Personally, I like going tempo because a lot of times it keeps the defensive picture the same and simple because they're just trying to line up in whatever base that they're going, and bang, we're keeping it simple. So, yeah, man,
you can't change personnel.
Yeah, right.
Can't change personnel, like
Yeah.
say it's third down or whatever. Can't change personnel, and that defensive look stays. Hopefully, I mean, it's basic, and everything we've coached, hopefully stays as basic as possible. It's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Love the tempo. I love when our guys, the first guys up there, set. It's an expectation. It's something that's going to have to be coached if you want tempo. Center, you are the first guy to the ball. You're like trying to take the ball from the ref. Like, you get yourself set. Everybody's getting set. Correct splits, levels, get yourself set. You're set. You're going to hear the call. You're going to hear the play from your quarterback. Again, another thing that's going to have to be coached up if you choose to go with tempo. Like, that stuff is important because you can't have guys farting around, lollygagging, tackles standing up or his feet are moving. Meanwhile, you're trying to motion somebody. Meanwhile, you're trying to run that play. Another thing that's going to have to be coached, right? So special situations. So we talked about alignments of defensive linemen, whether we're running it, again, like a 4-eye defensive end or a shaded nose, adding those and giving them the tools that they need to execute the double team, get into their half, help their buddy, all while eyes are on the second level and blocking that second level player, right? But adding blitzes, man, this is really important, man. And I learned this the hard way at Wesley, man. I'm the O-line coach. I'm like, hey, man, we're doing good. We're playing Huntington in Alabama. And, man, those linebackers, were sniffing the butts of the defensive tackles, right? And I'm like, man, those dudes are tight. We're not going to be able to double team as much as we want, right? Because the tighter the second level player gets to the line of scrimmage, the less of a double team you're going to have, right? And that's important for guys to understand too, so that the backer doesn't blow right by him, right? So, like, same situation. Let's just go with, get a lot of A-gap pressure. It's just simple pressure out of the 3-4. Now the odd front is inside pressure by the inside backer, right? So in this situation, the tighter he gets, right? So we focus on watching film and studying this defender, right? There's a team that we play. Those linebackers, inside backers, in an odd front, they are offset. Normally, they're just perfectly even when they're not blitzing, right? Then one backer is literally a half yard in front of the other. Boom, he's blitzing. We know it. So our guys hopefully can understand that and then use that tool to help them make their blocks, right? So if we know this dude is coming and we see him creeping, pre-snap, he's right on the line of scrimmage, double teams off. You can't expect the center to snap the ball, anybody, snap the ball and then get his body off to a blitzer, right? So, like, another part of it is that special situation with the blitz. It's time to go right now. It's time to vacate that double Chevy, and Chevy. So we'll practice that if that's something we're going to see. So film study, of course, is important. But if we're going to see it, we're going to practice it. Same thing with odd front and another team, same team we play, brings a lot of edge pressure. Well, we're going to double to that alley player. They're going to bring the alley, especially into the boundary. And doesn't move. He's still head up. But now the alley starts to move, right? That alley starts to move. He starts to creep, especially in the boundary. So our guys are already, man, we're running belly into the boundary or inside zone in the boundary. We're going to see that alley. We know he's probably going to come. So the tighter he gets, the less of a double team we're going to get. So again, the tackle might have time to bang the end and then vacate quickly and get out to that alley. Or we have a call if the alley's down. The tackle will make a threat call to his guard, to his buddy, and he knows, guard knows, and tackle knows, that is Chevy. And we use that in pass pro as well. threat call. Double teams off. We're Chevy. We're one-on-one with tackle with the alley, guard with the end. And that's the same thing in zone concept. So we do kind of marry up a lot of things with this blocking scheme, with those double teams. Our doubles in inside zone are going to be very similar to our pass pro doubles in our pass pro, right? But drilling those special situations, drilling those blitzes, those alignments, drilling those throughout the week, and it might be a week-by-week thing. Do not throw a blitz in the very first time you are teaching zone. I've seen that, and please, guys, if you're, whatever. This is stuff that I believe in, man. It could be right or wrong, but if there's one thing you take from it, please don't have that special situation day one, very first situation. Don't talk about that stuff. Go easy details, and then transition into the special situations and alignment. So as far as that goes, those are drills, man. They're my drills, our drills for inside zone. And we roll through those. We'll do them all season, man. We'll do those all season long. Again, developing their ability to execute those zone combos. So I'm gonna just show some practice film next and talk about some of the stuff we'll do in practice.
I'm excited for these clips. Hey guys, while coach is figuring that out, if you made it to this point, you like what he's saying, you like the content, make sure you hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe.
All right, here we go. Can you see that, Coach?
Oh, that looks beautiful.
It's beautiful. It wasn't beautiful at the time because they jumped off sides. So everybody's got to doing their push-ups, right?
There you go.
This is a great practice, man. This was a long time ago. Long time ago. We were lucky enough to be practicing on Thanksgiving. That's always a goal, is to practice on Thanksgiving. You know that you're playing for something really, really big when you're practicing on Thanksgiving. So this is our inside run period. We do inside run every single day. Every day inside run. And it is good on good. It is our starting five. Running back and quarterback too, against the starting defense. So just to let you know, that's Josh Hutchinson. He's a linebacker at Shepherd for a while, still in college. He's our dude. Here's a young Darrell Williams, young Debo, right? Our DN, Anthony Delray, our nose guard. So we're big. We're big on big. We are 1-on-1. We are ones versus ones. So here's us just practicing our inside zone. And what we'll do early on in the season, and if we need it, is we will pod this up in this setup right here. We'll have the camera behind. We'll pod it up. So what I mean by podding it up is if we're going to go zone to the left, we'll have, against the out front, we'll have the play side tackle and guard, just those two against the end and the alley out here. We'll just pod it up, record them running it. All right, how's it look? Wasn't good enough. Do it again. Wasn't good enough. Do it again. All right, it was good. We move on. Center, backside guard working their cage to the play side inside backer. We'll pod that up. And then usually we'll add the tackle sift to that as well. But this is just how we're practicing it. We're, again, big on one-on-one, ones versus ones, good versus good. And I love how the left guard and left tackle didn't start off that great. Not a good step, not a good first step by the left guard. We want short 6-inch steps, kind of pivots. He's on his toe, don't like it, right? We see the left tackle taking the drive step because he's got the head up technique. He's driving through his half. You see his head's up. Hopefully his eyes are on that backer. You see the center, that linebacker chose him. So now he's going to go choose that linebacker. So he's driving into his half. And then as he presses, you see him torque right there with that right arm. There's your violent exit. And then now let's come off and block our linebacker. Just block him how you find him. If you block him in that position, drive him to the left, take him on over to the sideline, right? Make something happen, move that body. But these guys on left side, they're not as tight as I'd like them to be. Eventually, they kind of get there right there. You kind of see him almost overlapped right there. The left tackle sees the backer choose him, so he's going to go choose the backer. Right, so we're seeing all that stuff as best we can live, but we're watching practice film, coaching them up on this stuff in the film room as well.
Now, Coach, and this may be not necessarily totally for line play. I'm going to assume you guys are on because I would like it if this is the reason why. But are you guys purposely on a yard line there?
No, we just try to like set it up.
The reason I say I like that because I like the backs to hug the midline before they make their read. So I wasn't sure if you were simulating a midline there or what was happening.
No, I don't. I've never heard that from Marksy. I don't know if that's the reason why. We just, hey, we're on the 50 on this sideline because we have the bleachers behind us.
Gotcha.
And we can usually go up top and film.
Gotcha. That's
usually it.
That makes sense.
We've done it. So this past season, we were down in the north end zone to the right here of the screen, and we had someone up on something filming. So we were actually on a hash, left hash, right hash, because last year the hash did dictate where we were running the ball. So our guys knew, they heard the play call. We're on this hash. The play is going in this direction. But right now we're just telling them, hey, it's inside zone right or belly left. The ball's usually at the top of the numbers. And I'm sure it's tough, but the quarterback's going to have to learn that you are 5 yards behind the center.
Yeah.
You might not always have a yard marker or a hash, but that's a great way for the quarterback to learn that 5 yard depth or distance from the center. Right. That's another thing that can be coached in this situation. Right. So here's our inside run again. Just good on good. Here's zone to the right. I love the right tackle step. I love his patience on emphasizing the down lineman. Backer chooses him. He chooses the backer. Right guard is into his half and driving the heck out of his half. Oh, man, center barely got off. But I love how he emphasized the down lineman. He's helping his buddy. That linebacker is Jaron Carter. He's going to be hopefully playing linebacker at Dell State this year. He was at Frostburg. But again, good on good. Here's our left tackle. Now, on the SIF technique, we want the left tackle, the backside tackle, to be thick through. We're not avoiding contact on that defensive end. I don't like how he puts hand on him and pushes, but we want to be thick through there. Try to get a little more of that end so he's not full speed at the mesh point. And then hopefully just block the backer how you find him. You see Tyke, the center, you see him, just block him how you find him. If you're on that shoulder, that's fine. If you're blocking him in that way, just block him that way. Doesn't matter. Just be violent on contact, right? Zone to the right again. All right, now the right tackle. Did the right tackle even come off? Didn't even come off to the backer. So I'm like, what the heck are you doing? In other words, what the heck are you doing? You got to get to your backer. I'm sure that DN probably talked some trash to him, so he just wanted to try to bury him. But he's got to come off to his linebacker. It's still zone right. And I love Tyke. I love the center's patience. Love his patience on his half. And then off to the backer. Stay on your feet. Stay up. But love the patience. See how he came off at like the last possible moment? Boom, that's what we want. That means that you get it and you're timing that thing up, right? So that's what our practice tape will look like. And then, of course, we do, I had film of all the drills. I don't know where the heck they are, right? Of course. But so that's the progression, and that's what it'll look like in a team or inside run session. And we're focusing on the same exact things, in team as well. I'm an O-line coach. My eyes are on those dudes, and that's it. So I'd love to get to game footage next. We'll So hopefully, there's some good clips, some bad clips, but it's good to see both. So here we're going zone to the left. Again, left guard, left tackle, working their tag, tackle, and guard. They're working to the alley player right here. He's pretty tight. So we may not have a solid double team because he's so tight. But let's see what these guys end up doing. See how the tap and go by the tackle?
Oh, yeah.
Play sidestep, tap, but he's got to go right now because that backer's tight. And I'm okay with it. I love the center and guard double team. You see the center trying to violently exit, but he's still emphasizing his half. And notice how much push they get on that nose guard, right at the point of attack. Right?
Because this looks like what I asked you in the beginning of the presentation as more of an RPO. I see that backside tackle's locked there on that defensive end, and you get a great read there on that backer blitzing through, and obviously quarterback pulls it, makes the throw. But to what you're talking about, that play side tackle, he has to make that touch and go because that apex backers there is coming off the edge. I mean, you can definitely see your drill work coming in the tape here.
We practice this. When we play these guys, when we play them, we have to practice this because they're going to bring that pressure.
I'm going to assume this was the team that you're talking about. He's the guy's a half yard in front of the other backer there.
Yeah, can you see it?
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm giving it away. I hope they don't listen. Because I love it. Because this is kind of stuff that our guys get to focus on because we're two platoons. So these guys come off the sideline, and we talked about it all week. Guys, can you see from your stance that they are all set? And they're like, yeah, coach, yeah. I'm like, yeah, let's go. Now we know who's blitzing, things like that. But yes, so the backside tackle he's going to be chevied up because the read has now changed, right? But I love how the left tackle, again, we talked about Chevy blocks, right? And how we can't get beat inside. This has now become a Chevy block. So now he's on the inside V of the neck. He's a second level player, so we can block him how we find him, but we know that he cannot go here. That defender can't go there. I don't like how the guard comes off. That's not what we coach. It's not what I expect. The guard is too soft coming off the ball. He's got to drive his dude. He's got to drive his half. So some good stuff, some bad stuff.
Yeah, I noticed your center there came off like you talked about with that inside arm, and he was able to get off on that play side backer. So again, that's nice work there.
We talk about that. We're going to get a fast fill, whether he's blitzing or whatever. We're going to get a fast fill out of that play side inside backer because we talk about, again, how the back is moving on this angle. The defenders see ball and get ball. So they're going to move on that same angle. And we're going to meet them whenever it's time to meet them. But we're ready for a fast fill there by that backer. We got some old clips, got some new clips. I love this offensive line, man. This offensive line, man, they get me fired up. Look at this ball of humanity. Look at the line of scrimmage moving. Makes me so happy. Bad read. One of very, very little. I don't know if it's bad read, but left guard, left tackle. These guys are going to be working out to this alley player right on the 50 up top. He's not very tight. He's pretty wide. He's kind of splitting the difference. He's apexing these guys, right? So we got some time. These backers they're normal linebacker depth, man. We got time to emphasize the down lineman. And then you'll see our right tackle block this backer how he finds it. And I'm fine with it. But we're seeing like shoulders are square, moving wall of humanity. I think we could be a little bit lower. But you can see the scheme and you can see some of the drill work. How they block the backers, and I love the finish.
Oh, yeah.
Love the finish, dude.
The finish there is great.
Gets me fired up. That's that junkyard dog mentality that we need to have. I do not like the left guard here. I can't stand the left guard because the D end, his near knee almost goes away.
Yeah.
It's the end up top. His near knee almost goes away. So eventually we have to what? We got to do the other half of our job. We've got to climb to our backer. So if you want to bang him out like that and push him out, that's good. Send him to the tackle, that's fine. But see how he gets stuck. He gets stuck on that double team. And nobody gets to the alley player. He's in on the tackle. Right? So some good, some bad. He ain't going to be perfect every play, but it's expected. Same game, different play. Oh, some really good, some really, really bad. Let's start with the right guard and right tackle on their zone combo. Again, sticking to the rules of the scheme versus the odd. Right guard, right tackle. Going to double the end to the alley player. Let's just keep an eye on that one right now. We're off into our halves. We're off at the last possible moment. The ultimate goal is right here. Put that down lineman into the lap of the linebacker. Don't tap and go. Don't tap and go. He chooses you. You choose him. Stay on the down lineman. Emphasize the down lineman as long as you can. Oh, so pre-snap, we've got the play side inside backer moving.
Well, and that's what I was going to bring up next, Coach. It looks like you guys probably had to get off the ball there a little quickly because that play side backer was coming.
Yeah, and he's got it. He's got to see it. If you don't see it, you're not going to block it. So it all starts in your stance. Maybe he had a lazy stance. Eyes were down on the ground. We have to see these things in order to make that block. Man, he just sees it too late. Just sees it too late. Love how the left guard comes off the ball, though. He helps his buddy. Little Robbie Robinson coming off the ball. I love it. I love Jamie, the left tackle. Love Jamie Fields' contact on the backer. Patient, violent. I wish he had finished there. I wish he had pounced on that linebacker as he was on the ground. We love pouncing. We're going to get him on the ground. That's the goal. We want to get him on the ground. We're going to pounce.
Yeah.
That should be the mentality of every offensive lineman. And I love this scheme. Look how we were so bad. I'm going to say so bad. But we were wrong up front, right at the point of attack, right at the aiming point, in A gap. And we're still right. Two is a stud. Two is an absolute dude. Let's not even get it twisted. He was an absolute dude, but
he might have been the best. I mean, I'm not that old, but he was good. Yeah, we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. Now look at it too. I mean, he could, chuck that thing out there if he wanted to, But the beauty of the scheme, and I love how dudes, and we always challenge them. I always challenge them to go ahead down there and pick up your ball carrier. Be the first guy down there. So we've got a couple of guys down there finishing, hopefully, getting themselves set for the next play, but get yourself to the ball carrier. Get yourself ready for the next play. All right, here's Cape, another odd front. This team switched back and forth between even and odd. So center, you must identify the front. The quarterback has the ultimate say. He's got the penthouse view. So he has the say, but we can be on the same page as quarterback when we identify the front, whether it's odd or even. We're going to go, I believe, zone to the left. Here's your alley player for the left guard and left tackle. Here's that play side inside backer. And should be our sift up to this backer. Off the ball, push, push, push. Love the left guard and left tackle here. Did anybody choose them? Did their backer press the line of scrimmage? Number 2, the alley out here. He did not. So we're going to emphasize the down lineman.
That was great up front there. That was great.
I love the center. You see the center trying to drive his knee right through the center.
Coach, man, that's like picture. I mean, look at the doubles there. I get excited when we start looking at double teams like that.
Yo, I got my heart rate is up, and it's not even because of the coffee. So we're driving. I love the right guard, and this was the right guard, man. He was an undersized dude, but violent. I love the center, just the detail of fighting to keep his shoulder square, knee through the nuts. Was ready to come off because, again, we anticipate fast fill by that inside backer. I don't know why he hopped backwards. Whatever. I got my own problems. But that dude was ready to come off. but he emphasized that down lineman as long as he could, move that line of scrimmage. And I love, all the finish right here, man. Like all the stuff at the end. Not dirty, man. We're not going to be dirty, but we're going to fist fight you. We're going to fist fight you every play. You must get our best every play. Love this one again. Odd front. We're going belly to the right. So here's a special situation, right? We're odd front. I believe we're odd. Yep, odd front. This backer, Alley, up top, now he's down on the edge, right? Seeing him right off the edge there, off the right tackle. So tackle's going to make a threat call, which equals Chevy from him and the right guard. And I hope they get on their aiming point. Remember, inside V, right? Oh, I love it. Right guard's right on the inside V of the neck. The tackle right on the inside V of the neck, forcing them out. Cannot allow them to beat you inside. Oh, I love it. And check out center and left guard on their cage. Oh, boy. Sometimes you just got to take it upon yourself to just throw them to the ground because that's okay. That's what we have to do. That's the kind of culture that you have to create as O-line coaches. We have to do this kind of stuff. And it's hard, man. It's hard. It's hard to get our guys to just give everything they have every play. But we want to do that. So pre-snap for our left tackle on his sift, he's ready to block that linebacker right now because he's down. He eventually backs off, so that's going to change his mentality. Now I can be patient, thick through the end, thick, patient, get to my backer. And we score, and we finish, and push people down. It makes me happy. So here's some other. I believe I have more even at the end, even front at the end. Here's some even here, but another special situation. So I talked about the nose shaded. Chris Jenkins played for the Panthers and Jets, I believe. His son played for Good Counsel. So we're trying to block his kid who's as big as he is. Dude, kid was an absolute monster.
Yeah, he's a youngin'. He's a big youngin'.
Ooh. So we're going zone to the right. Play side tackle is chevied up on this stud defensive end. Right guard and center are going to be doubling the play side defensive tackle to the play side inside backer. And then my left guard, left tackle are doubling the backside D tackle to the backside inside backer. You can see Sal, the right tackle, start with him. You can see him with the play side step. But you see that heavy inside hand to torque the end out. I think he could have been better, and I told him this in film. He could have been better with his hat placement on the inside V, but he's strong enough. I don't like his base. He's not ready to change direction. He's not ready to make contact, but he's fighting in there. He understands the concept of where that dude cannot go. Right guard, can't stand it. See the tap, just a little tap and go. And I know that backer was downhill quickly, but this is our backup center. You've got to help your buddy on that giant human being that we're trying to block, right? Now, I think it was a couple plays before our right guard got his head taken off by this linebacker, filling like an absolute monster. So maybe that's why he did it. But you see him, he's laid off the ball, he's hesitating. We want to take, in this situation, like I said, when I was drawing that up a few minutes ago, well, it probably was about 10 minutes ago, but replacement step with the play side foot, get into that half. We have our base. We're ready to change direction and get off to our linebacker. If we had done that, it would have been better. It's not going to be perfect. So we're Chevy. Here's another special situation. 3-by-1, running our inside zone. Up top, left tackle, left guard. We have a kick call on, so we're Chevy. So again, that changes versus even front. It changes both the guard and the tackle. And again, the details, man. Chevy. Chevy means inside drive block. Your aiming point is the inside V of the neck. And it looks like at initial contact, both guys are right on that inside V of the neck. I think the left tackle could have been obviously more physical, but they're on their aiming point. Let's stay attached and finish it. Robbie, let's not fall down. But there's a special situation. Again, all of these things are drilled. All those little situations are drilled. Try not to do it at, first rep again, but give them something basic, because we're going to see some basic fronts. We're going to see either even or odd. Give them that, and then eventually talk about the special situation. Here's the blue school.
Blue school, yeah.
We're running zone to the right versus even front. So similar to the last clip. Right tackle chevied up on the D end. He knows this kid's a freshman. Big Sal got hurt. He hurt his shoulder or something in this game. So this is a freshman. He didn't even know where he was. You can see his diapers. He didn't know where he was, but he understood at least we're running zone, even front. He cannot beat me inside. So he chevied up on this D end. Got our zone combo here on the D tackle to play side inside backer, and a double right here. Our gut guard and tackle, blocking defensive tackle, backside D tackle to the backside inside backer. See how we do. Play side tackle. That's okay. Terrell, that's okay. That wins. I'm going to expect more of you eventually, but this wins. Love the contact by the guard in the center. I think the center could have got into that half quicker. He kind of is patient into his half, but I love how the guard comes off. Boom! Running their feet. Love their base. They're ready to come off, ready to change direction, ready to make some contact. Left guard gets himself in a tough situation. And again, up top here, you'll see this backer is tighter. So this guy, our left tackle, knows that there's going to be less of a double because he's tighter. He's already tighter to the line of scrimmage. So he gives enough. He gives enough in this situation, in my opinion. Gives enough, and then he's off to his backer. Love how the left guard, man, it was tough at first, right? Tough at first. Big body right there, and he just kept his feet moving. Ended up dumping the D tackle. Makes me so happy. But you see the scheme. You can see how all of those drills, our progression, how it's working for us. And everything I'm trying to give away today is just things that we and I believe in. They may be right, may be wrong, some people, and that's okay, man. Let's try to get a little bit better. All right, so we're going should be zone left. Yep. We're going zone left. Left tackle. Now our D end, even front. D end is stood up, but he knows he can't go in there. He can't go inside. Hopefully we take a good step. That's a win. If you want to run upfield like that, that's fine. We're going to keep our body on the inside via the neck. I really like the combo by the center and the guard. I love the gack. Driving our halves, I think we could probably be a little bit tighter, but I love our driving our halves, and then we're coming off to our backer when he chooses you.
Yeah, I mean, that's really putting the double in the lap right there.
Yeah. We love that. And then the right guard, right tackle, not a fan of what the right guard is doing. Not a fan of what the right tackle's doing. We're kind of soft into our halves, right? I think the right guard is like, this dude's a freshman. I need to just find a way to get to that backer. Well, we don't want that. We're just going to drive our half. And then we'll see what happens after that. Stick to the fundamentals. The right tackle stays attached, and I'll take it. I'll take it. His feet continue to move. They're moving. This right tackle, his feet remind me of watching when I first learned about the zone concept. It was outside zone through Alex Gibbs and the Denver Broncos. Their linemen were small dudes, compared to other O-linemen, but their feet never stopped moving. So, yeah, they may be going backwards at first, but if your feet continue to move, you're eventually going to get the movement that you need. There was a clip of even. I think we score on this one. Yeah, we score on this one. Thank goodness. And zone to the right. Again, right tackle. That freshman kid doesn't know any better. You see his diaper on right there? Play side step, inside V of the neck. that will win. That wins your battle for you right there. Of course, we expect more, but not a huge fan. Not a huge fan of the right guard and center in their GAC. They're both coming off to the backer. You know, right guard leaves a little early. Right guard leaves a little early. We want to emphasize that down lineman. You don't need to go anywhere. You don't need to go anywhere. That right guard progressed, man. This was like mid-season. Early on in the year, he got to a spot where he became a pretty good football player. But still making these little mistakes. Just leaving too early, man. You don't need to go anywhere. That backer didn't choose you. Hang on your double. Left guard, left tackle. Coming off to their backer at the correct time. I don't know if I mentioned our splits, but in inside zone, we're 18-inch splits. And the toes of the guards and tackles of the inside foot should be even with the heels of the center. Thank goodness we scored. We needed to score a couple more touchdowns that game. And then here's another different situation, and I'd like to talk about this one because we're playing against Polytech, and they came out with a defense of the week. They gave us a bare front, which when you look at the configuration of it, I would call it a stack with both stacked linebackers down, like a 3-3. These guys are on the guards, knock those dudes down. I get it. I'd call it a bear or a stack with those guys down. So we should block it the same way.
Well, and like you said, Coach, defense of the week, they're trying to cover all your guys up, mess with your rules, let that mic roam. So we'll leave it at that.
We ended up having 2 guys unblocked. We did make the adjustment. So if we're going to just talk about the stack real quick, let's go. We'll go zone left. I believe that's the original setup. So we should go with our stack rules. So if we're going zone to the left guard, left tackle should double to the stack. Center, right guard, double to the stack, and then we would sift to that backer. So as this backer comes down and the end tightens up, we should go directly to that backer to keep the read man the same for the quarterback. So again, an adjustment that we should have made to block it correctly and give us the best shot that's what I would have done. So we know that this backer up top, he's down. So the double team is off. We're Chevy and Chevy by the left guard and left tackle. The center and right guard are going to double the nose to the mic, to the stack. And you see the right tackle, and we're wasting a blocker. It really bothered me. We're wasting the blocker. You got 3 guys going to 2, the nose and the mic. Now, the beauty of this concept is the right tackle is taking his play side step. He's working his angle of departure, and he fits on whoever he fits on. So it ends up being the safety here. If you want to insert the safety, okay. Big Sal is going to be in there for you.
I mean, I'll be the first one to tell you what's impressive here is, and I can't tell, I'm assuming that's a 3 technique down here on the backside. I think is what it looks like. But either way, that's a really tight read. So, that goes back to, number 1, getting enough movement up front. And, I mean, that's a hell of a mesh point and a really fast, tight read there. So I don't know if I'd have the cojones to read a 3 technique, but it's definitely done. I'm seeing it right here. So
we talked about on the sideline. Do we want to read the end? Or do we want to read that overhang?
Right.
We talked about it. We're like, we'll just block it. We'll be okay. All right, let's go. Now, left tackle can't stand it because where can he go?
He can't beat him inside, Coach. Beats him inside. There you go.
I like how the left guard, those dudes were like 2s. They were like head up. But I like how he fights to get his hips and head in the right spot on his Chevy block. Very detail-oriented, Robbie Robinson. Yeah, I let the left tackle have it here. bad coach. But another special situation where beauty of the scheme is the wrong. Defense is always wrong. I think that might be the last clip. We're back to the top. So as we, I mean, any question you have, of course, I'll answer it. But just to recap, man, number one thing we have to do as O-line coaches is we have to take pride in our stance. It's all going to start there, and then progress, have a plan. Please progress in the zone concept. I mean, I'm always available to talk O-line play, especially, man. I'll talk at any minute of the day. You hit me up. I was like, all right, let's roll. Am I ready to go? I had to get this presentation right, but man, I was ready. Let's go talk O-line play. But take pride in it. Make sure their stances are right. Make sure they understand leverage. Be violent. Create a culture, man. Whatever it is, junkyard dogs, whatever. Pit bulls, whatever's dirty, nasty, mean. Create that culture because we have to have O-linemen, especially in our state. We've got to be nasty. Have to.
Well, Coach, I appreciate your time. That was an excellent presentation. Guys, if you made it all the way here to the end, again, if you like that content, press the like button, drop a comment, and subscribe. Remember, be simple, play fast.